fitness professional here at the Houston site. I'm going to be covering class for Jenny. She's out this week for Thanksgiving break, and so I'm going to be taking over class for today. I hope that y'all have had a good week so far and that your Thanksgiving week has been nice and chill. The only thing that you're going to need today for class is going to be a chair. And yeah, that's literally it. Everything else will just be standing. For our waivers, we really don't have anything to go over because it's the end of November and most of our programs have come to an end. If you've not submitted your Planksgiving, you do need to do that. And then the only other thing is our Healthy Holidays Bingo, which ends December 12th. So keep at it and then get those submitted by the 12th of December, which is coming up faster than we think. And then that's it. We can go ahead and just jump right into it. I'm going to stop presenting and I'm going to drag my chair over. And I'm just going to set it to the side. We don't need it quite yet, but I'm just having it here for when we do. I'm going to start my timer. Go ahead and start your workout on your watch if you are recording it. And if that's something, if the stretch is being recorded. We're going to go ahead and take our hands up. We're going to take a deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, allow that chest to expand and go up. Exhale. And then I'm going to inhale again. And I'm going to take my hands down towards my toes. Exhaling into the stretch. Straighten out your knees. My feet are about hip width apart. And I'm reaching for the floor. Hinging from my hips. Straightening out those knees, feeling the stretch in the backs of my hamstrings and my glutes and my back. Go ahead and grab the backs of your calves and try to pull your chest toward your knees. If you need to grab the backs of your thighs, you can do that as well. If you can reach the backs of your ankles, go for then get the backs of your ankles. Just don't put it on the back of your knees so you don't collapse. Just going to cross our hands over each elbow and let our head hang. Inhale and exhale, and then slowly begin to roll up, activating that core, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, and then shake out your shoulders. All right. And then we are going to bring our feet hip width apart. Inhale, stack that posture, and then I'm going to reach back and I'm going to grab my left foot with my left hand and raise my right arm up. Now, if you want to keep it just as quad stretch, you don't have to add the lateral stretch in, but if you want just the extra stretch and the lats, then you can do that. And then add a little bit of a balance challenge and lean to the left a little bit. Pulling, but really focusing on pulling that left foot in towards that glute to deepen the stretch in your quad. You take that arm down. And then we're going to swap sides. So planting the left foot, again, feet hip width apart, reaching back and grabbing that right foot. You can raise the left arm once you've found your balance and slightly stretch to the right. Pulling that foot in close to your glute. If you can't bring it all the way up, then you can put your foot on the back of your chair. That is always a regression. That is always an option. If you can't bring it all the way to your glute. But we're going to go ahead and plant our feet back on the ground. And we're going to mobilize our ankles a little bit. So we're going to rock back onto our heels. Feet are still hip width apart. And then we're going to rock up onto our toes.
I can't do that.
So we're pulling our toes back towards our knees and activating the muscles in our shins to do that and finding our balance. My core is engaged. And then we're rocking up onto our hips, engaging those calf muscles, mobilizing the ankles, but also strengthening the calf muscles. And then you can go ahead and bring your right foot out in front of you, and we're going to take it to some ankle circles. We're going to go turning our foot to the right and then drawing the circles to the left. And then you can swap sides. So we're shifting our weight to the right foot, pulling the left foot out in front of us, drawing those circles to the right with the, or to the left with the left foot. and then to the right, reversing it whenever you feel like you need to. You might feel a little burning in the ankles. Maybe you feel it more towards the bottom of those calf muscles. Pay attention to kind of where is sore on your foot. All right, and then plant those feet again. We're going to take it into some hamstring stretches. So I'm going to plant my right foot out in front of me, pulling my toes towards my shin. And then like we're going to go into a heel scoop. And I'll give you a side view for this one. So I'm bringing that foot out in front of me, but instead of going into a heel scoop, I'm just hinging at my hips. I'm placing my hands on the front of my thigh, and I am leaning, driving through my back glute, leaning into it. And again, my toes are pulled towards my knee, and my right leg is straight, my left leg is bent, and I'm putting the weight on that right hamstring. My hand is not on my knee joint. That can be a risk for injury, so keep it higher on the thigh or mid thigh. And then you can swap sides. Pulling that left toe up, stretching the calf muscles and the hamstrings, making sure that leg is nice and straight. Again, hinging from the hips, my core is engaged. I'm driving through that left glute to push my hips back so that I'm not rounding in my spine. And then we're going to take our stance wide, and we're going to point our toes out towards like at a 45-degree angle. So I'm not in a plie. We're not doing plie squats. We are pointing our feet, toes angled out at a 45-degree angle. Take your hands down and walk them to the right side. I'm taking my left hand and I'm crossing it onto the lateral side of my right ankle. So we're stretching that lat a little bit as we feel that stretch in the right hamstring as well. And it's going to be in the back, maybe a little bit in the inner thigh. And you can adjust your stance, make it more narrow if you need to. My legs are straight to deepen that stretch of the hamstring. Inhale, walk it back to center. Exhale, and then inhale it to the left. And again, I'm going to take that right hand, I'm going to cross it and put it on the lateral side or the outside of my right ankle to get that lateral stretch in my back. And then I'm going to inhale it back to center. And we're going to come back up to standing. Now go ahead and grab your chair. We're going to finish off with the piriformis stretch and love on the hip flexor and that glute, that inner muscle. So my chair is at 90 degrees. So my knees aren't too high, but my feet are nice and planted. And then I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left knee. Now you can push down on your knee. If your knee is popped up, then just gently put pressure down, flex those toes to protect the knee joint. And if you need a deeper stretch, then take your chest over your knee. I'm very tight today, so I'm just going to leave my hand putting pressure on that knee joint. And again, my toes are flexed because when I don't flex my toes, sometimes I feel a little pinch in my knee. So to protect that knee joint, we're going to keep those toes flexed. You should feel this kind of in the back of the hip, maybe a little bit in the glute, wrapping around to the front of the hip. Maybe a little bit of tension in the low back. Swap sides. So I'm going to plant my right foot and cross my left ankle over my right knee. This side's a lot tighter. I don't know if you can see how my knee is popping up more. So I'm going to push down. Breathing through it. Maybe try to get a little bit deeper when you exhale. So when you inhale, exhale a little bit deeper, flex that foot to protect the knee. I feel that deep in the side of my glute, where that muscle is wrapping around from that spine, that piriformis wraps around through the glute, stemming from that low lumbar spine around the hip. Bring chest up and just hold. And then you can plant both those feet. And that's all that I have for y'all today. Thank y'all so much for joining Death Stretch. I hope that you have a great rest of your Thanksgiving and a great rest of your week. Have a good one.
Thanks, Abby.